What's going on, guys? Adam Ivy back again with another student spotlight video where I highlight the journey and successes of my Sell Music Masterclass and mentorship program students. Now, recently I flew up to one of my favorite cities in the country, Atlanta, Georgia, to have a sit-down conversation with one of my students named Jennifer Jess. Now, Jennifer is a singer-songwriter from the Atlanta area, and she's built a non-traditional following using the platform Twitch to get paid and build an audience using online streaming, online gigs. She's also had some great successes on Spotify, but I'll let her tell her story. All right, guys, so I'm here with Jennifer Jess in Atlanta, Georgia. Thank you so much for coming out to talk to me.
Absolutely.
So Jennifer, as I mentioned earlier, is a singer-songwriter, absolutely amazing talent. So I'll have all of her links in the description box below. But why don't we just open up, Jennifer, with obviously introducing yourself. But when did you start singing? Like, what made you fall in love with it?
I fell in love with singing when I was 5 years old, and I was at a kindergarten talent show for the whole school, and I watched one of my friends get up on stage. She was 5 or 6, just like me, and she got up there and she sang The Sun Will Come Out Tomorrow from the Annie soundtrack.
Yeah.
And in that moment, I was sitting next to my mom and I was like, oh my God, Mom, I want to do this. Like, this is it. Like, this is what I want to do. That was the moment, and I remember it so clearly. And so, because before that I wanted to be a dancer, and it didn't really kick in full force till like I was 8 or 9, where I started singing in my room all the time, and that's what I did. Like, instead of going out and playing, I would sit in my room and I would sing with my little Celine Dion album and my karaoke machine.
Yeah.
So.
Now, shout out to Celine Dion, one of my fiance's favorite artists. With singing, did you do chorus in high school, choirs? Yes. Did you do any of that?
Yes. Middle school, high school, and then first year of college was all choir. Yeah. So yeah, that was definitely like a big deal. And it actually took me more in the classical direction, so that when I got out of high school, I actually started majoring in vocal performance. So I was studying opera.
Wow.
But then after that, I was like, no, I want to be a pop singer-songwriter. I always have been. So then that's where it transitioned. Yeah.
So when it comes to the music, when did you make the leap into saying like, hey, I'm going to put it online and see what complete strangers think of it?
That would be, I put my first video up on YouTube in, I think, 10th grade. It was Who You Are by Jessie J. Wow. It was just me playing piano. I still have the video somewhere, but I deleted it on YouTube. But yeah, that was the first time, I think. And then I don't know what happened after that.
No, I mean, so you got into it early. You understood that there was going to be some importance to getting on YouTube. When did the Jennifer Jess brand start to grow on social, on YouTube or Facebook or Instagram for that matter?
Probably about 3 years ago, when I first started making an online presence. I was on twitch.tv. That's where I started everything, really. And then after that, it was I hopped on Instagram. I made a music page on Facebook, and then Twitter. But Twitch is probably what started it all for me.
Now, what made you jump into Twitch? So Jennifer's audience is loyal, they're devoted, they're incredibly engaged with Jennifer's work. And the thing I thought was incredible when Jennifer first reached out to me was that the majority of the following that you've built over the last 2 or 3 years has been from Twitch. So what made you think, hey, I see these people over here doing it on Vine or whatever it was back then.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go and I'm gonna attack Twitch. What? Because that's relatively uncommon, but you obviously found your own lane. What made you do that?
Yeah, and back then it was even a smaller community, but it happened to be that one of my really good friends at the time used to game on Twitch. And so then we started watching different music performers. We found the music section one day, and we were like, oh, look at these guys, look at what they're doing. And he was like, you should try this out. And I'm like, yeah, we'll see. Another conversation a month later. You should try it out. No, really, do it. And it really took that person pushing me onto the platform. But it all started really because I wanted to start doing more open mics in Atlanta, but it was quite a commute for me, and getting down there as much as I wanted to for the exposure I needed, it was hard. So I was like, well, if I could learn how to do this Twitch thing, then I can sit in the comfort of my home and do this anytime I wanted. Yeah. And that was really awesome, as well as get out there in Atlanta and perform live.
Yeah, no, the combination. So many people think that it either needs to be done all out at gigs, doing bars and honky tonks in Nashville and doing all these live shows, or just be at home behind the scenes doing things for the internet, but you've really melded the two together. And with Twitch, she live streams these performances. This is not like YouTube where she's pre-recording and saying like, oh, I got to do another take. Jennifer's out there live streaming, essentially doing a live gig for her audience on the internet. Like, what's that been like when it comes to building that audience?
Building an audience, I think they get to see like the real me, the one, because I'll sit there and I'll do a thing called live learns where they give me a song, I listen to it once, and then I perform it.
Wow.
And so when that happens, you get to see like all my mistakes, my mess ups, the most vulnerable parts of me. And there's no such thing as being embarrassed anymore. You just mess up, your voice cracks or something, like it doesn't matter. So I think like the audience being able to see like that raw, real me, I think that's built the following that I have on Twitch.
So you started building a following on Twitch, you got on Instagram, you're putting out this content, you're putting out originals, you're putting out covers, whatnot. When did you realize that, hey, I might need to figure out the marketing side of this thing?
That would probably be, I mean, like, for instance, with Instagram, I always knew I needed to post more, but it was like, there was just like this, I was just like, no, I can't do that. I can't find enough content to post as much as I need to. I don't know if it's that important. But then I was just like getting to a point where I was like, okay, I released my first single. It's sort of, it didn't go anywhere that much, and I'm just like, what can I do? I want to speed things along, and I want to, I had been to several conferences before, different music stuff, learning all about the music industry and stuff like that. But yeah, the marketing side, it was always, I felt like I needed a little push in that area, and then I could do some things better. And that's kind of when I came to you, when I found you on YouTube, from you, just actually watching one of your videos, because I think I was watching several different videos that day. Yeah, and it was just something about like, I loved the realness of what you had going on, and it attracted me to your program.
So you started watching some of my content on YouTube. I don't assume that anybody watches all my stuff, nor retains it. But you started taking action on some of the little things I was teaching.
Yeah. And I remember one of them was like, it was talking about how to reach out to a certain amount of people every day on Instagram. And so I would go and just like comment on people's stuff, like the real comments, not just the fire emoji.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. And then like go and like stuff. And I was doing that for a while. Like, I think I was trying to do like, it was like a 120-day challenge or something like that.
I think what you're referring to is the 1,000 followers in 90 days.
Oh, maybe that's what it was. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Awesome.
So that's what I tried to do, and I wasn't completely successful, but
yeah. Well, I mean, you had the progress going, you had some momentum building a little bit, but you were on the verge of burnout because you didn't feel like you were doing the actions.
Yeah.
But you knew that there could be a more efficient way of doing it.
Yeah.
To grow not just people but fans from followers. So Jennifer reached out to me for help. Jennifer is in my mentorship program where we work one-on-one in an intensive multi-month program. And what do you think was the catalyst for reaching out? Like, what did you think, hey, now's time to actually work with someone or ask for help?
I think it was just like, it was probably like an Instagram story that you posted one day, and it was just like, you listed like, are you this, and I'm just like, yes, and do you need help? I'm like, yes. So I clicked on it, but it was just like at the moment where I was just sort of frustrated, just because I had been to so many conferences, learned so many things, and I was like, okay, I feel like I work a lot, but is it actually doing anything? Because I was busy,
right?
But I felt like nothing was really happening from being that busy.
It's really easy, I think, as a music creator, content creator, YouTuber, Twitch, streamer. It's easy to feel like we're running on a hamster wheel.
Yeah.
Because it's like, okay, how many more? I just did 40 posts. Like, I need another 40 posts, and it feels like you're touching a few people, but not enough new people. And when you do touch the new people, sometimes it feels like they don't care. They're just liking, if anything, out of pity or something. So when you reached out to me, you really wanted to connect. You really wanted to figure out a system. Walk me through that process of, you reached out, we talked about what your goals were, what you really wanted to accomplish, and walk my audience through that process of getting started, and maybe, because every single student has a different aha moment, has a different progression based on what they need. And not everyone needs the same thing. So what was your experience?
Yeah. I think like when I first joined, it was pretty cool having like all the information there at my fingertips with the program all online. And the fact that I could take it at my pace was awesome too. And being able to have the notes, like I printed them out and I was able to work through it. And it was really cool because it more than anything, it just got the wheels turning. Like, what can I do more? I started like asking myself more questions, and it got me thinking. And then I realized that there are many things I could do more than I was doing. And they're actually turned out to be a lot more simple than I thought they were.
Yeah, it's just with purpose. It's just in the right order why you're doing things.
Yeah.
So I think that you built momentum pretty quickly, right? So from your Twitch following, and side note, Jennifer's incredibly humble, but the Twitch thing also, there is revenue involved, right? It is part of your music business and music career. So your followers support you. It's not like you monetize ads or anything like that. They actually, and very similar to like kind of like a Patreon model, they support what you're doing based on goals, based on
That's right.
the different streams and the frequency of streams.
Yeah.
So how did marketing and how did understanding the marketing help you on Twitch? Like what effect, I should say, did it have with you and your Twitch following and the, I hate saying revenue when it comes to fans, because I don't look at my fans as some type of money-making opportunity, but how else do you really talk about the money that's made in music, right? So income, financial support from your audience. How did you see, or what did you see change there?
Well, I think for me, it was always hard to like, I always put up like a donation goal, like, oh, I'm raising money for my EP or something like that. So I would put that up, but I would just sort of leave it there and see if like people would donate, which they did, and I'm so thankful for it. But I was like, when I visit some other streams, I took note of how other people be like, hey, check out this. And I noticed that in the program as well, like, don't be afraid to, remind people like what your purpose is, like what your goal is.
With call to actions.
Call to actions, exactly. So, it was even just as simple as like, telling my community like, hey, you guys are the reason I'm able to do what I do. You're the reason why I'm able to even make an EP.
For sure.
I'm just bringing it up more often. Like, it was pretty cool to see things come together.
So your Twitch is firing on all cylinders. They're helping you hit financial goals that are helping you fund your music career. And so you're giving back. And I think this is so cool about Twitch. She's providing value, she's providing entertainment and some behind the scenes on who you really are. You're not this like polished, high quality music video every 3 months like a lot of people do on YouTube.
They see my most vulnerable parts.
And the great thing is with that connection, you start seeing certain usernames and certain people, and you start knowing them by name. You're like, wow, this person's really consistent with the support they're giving me. So that brings fulfillment. And that didn't come from my program or anything like that, but I just really think that what you're doing there is super cool. And I think a lot of you guys should look into Twitch as far as streaming and helping to grow your audience that way. Now, when it comes to your single that you dropped originally, they don't know this yet, but you dropped another single relatively recently. I think it was January 31st.
About a month and a half ago or something like that.
So the great thing about what Jennifer's been doing is she's persistent as hell, right? So she put out her single on Spotify. Did you put it out on other platforms as well?
Yes.
Okay, so
all platforms.
And I'll have all of her links in the description box below. So go help her reach other goals and definitely show her some love because her music's great. But your last single that you released, let's say 6 weeks ago, in the last 6 weeks, like what are the streams compared to your other? What's the momentum? What have you been?
This one's at 15,000 at the moment. And my last one, I think it picked up numbers just because the second one came out. So the other one, it was called Blue. It's at like 6,000 right now, but it was sitting at like just 1,200, I think.
Wow. Hey guys, had to jump in here. Jennifer, I apologize for interrupting our interview. I'll get back to that in 1 second, but I had to show you Jennifer's Spotify stats right now. This is as of right now, 2 weeks after her and I talked. Almost 25,000 monthly listeners, and Crazy has now surpassed 30,000 streams in less than 90 days. Jennifer, you're kicking ass. Now let's get back to the interview. This new single, because a lot of people ask me this new single, we were reaching out to a lot of different playlists. I mean, there's a whole process to the playlisting, but you were very dedicated to doing this and you didn't take no for an answer. You kept reaching out and you got on different curated playlists and listener playlists, and it went up to about 1,200. It sat a little bit and then you kept at it. You're like, this thing deserves some play. And then all of a sudden it went from 1,200 to now 15 or 16,000. But the ultimate win here is obviously we want people to listen to that single, but they went back to your other music because they're interested in you. It's not because one single and done or bots or anything like that. They actually care, but what else do you have? So you're helping, the current single is helping with the old one breathe new life into it, which just helps everything. I think that's incredible.
Because I didn't do anything different with Blue, my first single. It just, you know, people saw one and then they went together. So that was kind of cool.
And that's why you don't go and delete old tracks off Spotify, because they have smaller numbers if you believe in the single. So Jennifer, you're building up on Twitch. You're about to get back into YouTube and build that up, and we've been talking about that. But joining the accelerated program in the Cell Music Masterclass, what was the difference with that compared to what you saw on YouTube?
With the difference with what exactly?
So some people, this is the reason that I ask.
A
lot of people say, well, Adam, all your stuff's on YouTube. What are you charging for? Adam, like, why would I work with you? What I want, you already have the stuff on YouTube. So I was curious to see if you saw a difference between the stuff you saw on YouTube, stuff that you saw on YouTube, versus the actual curriculum from the program.
Yes. Oh yeah, so definitely there's, you go way more in depth and it's just more streamlined, and it's like it flows because you can go from like module to module, and it takes you on a journey. Whereas like with YouTube videos, it's like, there's this one about this and this one about this, and they're more like scattered about.
And then next thing you know, you're watching a cat video. It's very easy to get distracted, but you've put in so much work. And I want to tell you guys, if you're ever interested in any of my programs, whether it's the Cell Music Masterclass, whether it's my accelerator program, if you're not ready to put in the work, it's not going to work for you. A few years ago, I bought a camera and I stared at it for probably about 6 months, and somehow it didn't grow my following, and somehow it didn't make me any money until I started using it. So never get into a program or a course or anything, whether it's me, whether it's anyone else, until you're ready, but you were ready. So since you started, is it safe to say that you've seen a lot of progress?
Yeah, definitely.
And with that being said, if any stranger were to come up to you and say, Jennifer, I love to sing. I really want to build my following, but I'm stuck. I don't know where to go. There's a lot of people out there that want to invest, but they don't know if it should be a book. They don't know if they should go to college for music marketing. They don't know if investing in a program like the Cell Music Masterclass or the Accelerator program would be worth it, instead of just trying to figure it out on their own. Like, what would you tell somebody who said, like, I want to invest, but is it worth it? I don't want to get ripped off or scammed. Because there are a lot of people out there that are selling like snake oil or like magic pills.
I mean, honestly, I would just say I only did 1 year of college doing opera, and I left because I wanted to pursue songwriting and write my own music and do my own music. And so I sort of developed this mentality of, okay, so I didn't go to college for this. I know I can be successful without college to do this kind of career. So I can put out the money or funds to invest in this because I didn't go to college, so I can treat it like it's these different courses or conferences, stuff I go to as my college.
The different specifics. The one thing about a college that annoys me, side note, let me rant for a second, is they make you pay thousands of dollars for gen eds that you're never going to use. Let's face it. Statistics, when you're like an opera major, or like I'm trying to learn how to be a cook, and you're making me take statistics. Like a lot of it doesn't make.
The first year it's
rough.
You're taking it's like high school again.
I ended up $11,000 in debt from 3 semesters with nothing that would apply to my major. That's a whole different story. We're talking about Jennifer. Now, Ultimately, Jennifer, you're going to a whole new level with all of your stuff, right? Do you feel more confident in what you're doing every single day when it comes to, I'm doing this piece of content for this, or I'm going to use this call to action for my audience for this? I mean, do you think that your focus and confidence is elevated since joining the program?
Oh, definitely. And definitely my confidence,
Yeah.
for sure. I mean, even just as something as simple as Instagram posts. I mean, I used to post like once a month or something, and I was just like, there's no way I can find enough content for every other day, which is what I do now.
Yeah.
And somehow I always do. It's just like,
I mean, and the thing is, it's more efficient. It's less effort.
Yeah.
And you're getting more of an impact.
I mean, because it makes a lot of sense, that's the consistency of, people always seeing your brand, which if you're a musician is you.
Right.
So it makes sense.
So
Yeah.
I appreciate you coming all the way out to
Absolutely.
speak with me today. It's
Yeah.
great meeting you face to face. I want you guys to go check out Jennifer's stuff. I want you guys to go show some love, connect with her, send her a DM if you have any questions. Send her a DM asking about her journey. Follow her on Twitch. Don't stalk. Don't go too crazy. She's a very busy woman. But I appreciate you coming out.
No problem.
And let's send it back to the studio. Now, once again, I want to say thank you to Jennifer for taking time out of her day to come have that face-to-face conversation with me. It was awesome meeting you. I really enjoyed our conversation, and hopefully you guys did as well. Now, in the description box will be all of Jennifer's links. Definitely go show some love because she's one to be on the lookout for. Now, if you want to be on a Student Spotlight video and actually become an official student, I have good news.
Welcome to the Cell Music Masterclass, where we give you, the creator, proven advanced strategies with actionable tactics and techniques to help you monetize your music and develop a powerful online brand. With your instructor, Adam Ivy.